Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true.
William Wagner here today, Thursday. What we've seen in the courtroom today is witnesses trying to prove that Michael was somehow involved with Demerol withdrawal, and that might have been a problem.
Off the drug, which is really my specialty, and comfortably withdrawing them from their substance of abuse.
Clearly the defense has a very weak argument, and in the end we see this dramatic, right before the lunch break, we see this dramatic prosecutor crossing off the chart that one of the star witnesses
off the drug, which is really my specialty, and comfortably withdrawing them from their substance of abuse.
For the defense claims now it was only for his own personal reference.
The chart, does it explain that this is a 1, but this is a 200? Where is that explained on your chart?
Again, this is for my own personal use, and that's how I chose to create it, and I understand exactly what it says.
Meaning never to be seen in court, just for something referred to, but it's completely inaccurate as the prosecutor takes them point by point, day by day. Watch this. Wow.
Group and single therapy, one-on-one sessions, and so I don't look at it as 2 stages. If you would like to look at detox as stage 1, I mean, someone might portray it thusly, but that's not my approach.
Okay, and so it's actually, there's far more than 2 stages. Let me be clear if I got everything. So proper addiction medicine care involves a team approach with multifactorial, is that what you said?
Factorial.
Team approach, multifactorial, a good doctor, a good psychologist,
a good psychiatrist,
a good therapist, education, AA meetings, 12-step program, group and individual therapy. Did I miss anything?
I think that was a good summary, sir.
And what does multifactorial mean in that context?
A vague way of saying all the things I was specific about.
Okay. That there are a lot of different factors in the care.
Absolutely. Again, implied by team approach.
Team approach. And the goal, obviously, is to get the person off whatever drug it may be and get them leading a healthy, productive life, correct?
Correct. In my experience, sir, getting them off the drug, which is really my specialty, and comfortably withdrawing them from their substance of abuse.
Do you know what Restylane is?
Personally, I have no experience with Restylane. I asked the plastic surgeon what it was, so I would know.
Okay, and it's a skin filler, right?
I think so.
For acne scarring or any type of dermatological scarring, things of that nature?
I honestly don't know its precise use. I have no expertise in dermatology.
And you noted in the medical records, the dermatology medical records, there were Restylane treatments, there were Botox treatments for different parts of the body, correct?
Yes, sir.
And some of these injections were into, for example, below the right orbital, in the right cheekbone, in the chin, in the nose, various locations, correct?
Correct.
And these are documented in the medical records, correct?
Yes.
Frequently with diagrams, for example, of the eyes or the face where the injections were given.
I would say actually infrequently.
There are diagrams showing where the injections were given.
There are occasional diagrams.
And certainly not every page has a diagram. Would you agree with that?
I believe so.
When do you use Demerol in your practice?
I haven't used Demerol probably for 2 decades. There are much better medications and safer medications.
If someone's addicted to a drug, and they stop using the drug, is the point at which you expect to see withdrawal symptoms, does that vary based on the type of drug?
Based on the length of use, the quantity of use, the type of drug, and even then, what makes this so interesting is that there's individual variation. It's difficult to predict.
Okay. But does it, if you said everything else is equal, I'm just curious, does it vary based on the drug alone?
But you're asking me, does the onset of withdrawal vary based upon the drug? Again, it depends upon the amount of the drug. It depends on the specific drug, yes, etc.
Okay. So giving a window of time then, if someone, for example, Mr. Chernoff asked you about the last Demerol injection being June 22nd, at what period of time from that last injection, if Michael Jackson was addicted, would you expect to see the withdrawal symptoms?
Let me correct your statement, if I may. You mean
well, it's not a statement; it's a question.
Thank you. Dependent. So if Michael Jackson got Demerol, did you say on the June 22nd?
That's what Mr. Chernoff asked you, and you were able to answer it.
Okay. Well, he showed me the record. That's how. So I'm just asking you to refresh my memory, please.
June 22nd.
Okay. Thank you. Demerol has a short half-life. 3, 4, 6, maybe 8 hours. The metabolite accumulates, so that might have some effect as well. So I would expect that 8 to 10 hours after a Demerol dose, he probably would not feel well.
So you would expect to see withdrawal symptoms of some sort between 8 to 10 hours?
Possibly. And you're asking specifically about that date. And
well, disregard the date. I'm just asking because that was the last date reflected in the records. But let's pick whatever date you want, whatever month you want. I'm asking you when the Demerol injections stopped, whatever date, when would you expect to see withdrawal symptoms?
Within a day.
Okay. Well, I just asked you a question. Did you prepare a chart documenting the injections of June 2009?
I did.
Okay. You're going to have a chart here at Asst be marked people's next in order, I believe 226. Looking at people's 226.
The Demerol, add 2 zeros, the midazolam in the brown is exact. This is my own personal chart that I was using.
Do you see the axis here where it goes 0, 1?
Yes.
2, these are in hundreds, right? I mean, the 2 represents.
It depends on which drug you're talking about, sir.
How does that?
Those are hundreds for the Demerol, milligrams for the midazolam. If you look at the bottom, it says midazolam dose, Demerol dose.
Right.
I created this.
Right.
Just for ease of fast review.
Right. So reading this chart. This chart, if you read this chart.
So for April 6th.
I'm asking a question.
Sure.
Allow all questions.
Reading this chart, it would reflect 100 milligrams of midazolam, correct?
No.
So where on the chart does it explain that this is a 1, but this is a 200? Where is that explained on your chart?
Again, this is for my own personal use, and that's how I chose to create it, and I understand exactly what it says.
I'm sure you do. My question was where on the chart?
There is no key because I was the only intended reader. There is no key that says.
So what does this 0.5 mean? Does that mean?
You can allow Dr. Waldman to finish his answer. There is no key that
I'm
says-
done, sir. I'm done, sir.
All right, thank you.
What does the 0.5 represent? Or let me just ask, what does this 1 represent?
1 would represent either 100 milligrams of Demerol or 1 milligram of midazolam. If you look, may I explain? Sir? May I?
Yeah, please.
Thank you. If you look at the record,
No, I'm talking about your chart.
where did the chart come from?
You.
Thank you. And where did I get it?
I have no idea.
I told you before.
Okay, excuse me. This is a fascinating colloquy, but we do have questions and answers, so let's have them, please. Thank you.
So each of these midazolam doses should actually be, the bar should be consistent with this axis here. Each of the midazolam doses should actually be way down here at the bottom, correct?
Sir, I'm not going to answer that. Now you're making a chart. The chart I made is just right there. I'm not changing it.
What does
That
this
represents 2 milligrams of midazolam,
Oh,
or 200 milligrams of Demerol.
okay. So the 2.
I think it's a very clear chart.
The 2 is 200 milligram Demerol or 2 milligram midazolam.
Depends
Okay,
on which.
first
Is that
objection
correct?
is now he's written on what is a demonstrative aid. Second objection is the witness already testified. This
Just a
wasn't.
moment, we
this-
don't have to hear argument, as we've indicated. The objection is sustained. Continue.
So the 2 represents 200 milligram of Demerol or 2 milligrams midazolam, depending on which drug.
What I'm going to tell you is that if you look at the records provided from Dr. Klein's office, it's interesting. It's always in round numbers. 100 of Demerol, a milligram of midazolam. 200 of Demerol, a milligram of midazolam. 200 or 300 of Demerol, 2 milligrams of midazolam. It lent itself to very easy representation in the most simple way. I am not a mathematician. I am not a statistician. I have no expertise. I created a bar chart because I thought it was helpful to spread it out and look at the spectrum of dosing. Period.
So if you just answer the question, so the 2 represents 200 milligrams of Demerol
Objection,
or
counsel's
2
being
milligrams of
argumentative.
midazolam. Is that accurate?
The objection is sustained to the form of the question, and it's been asked and answered.
And this would apply across the chart. The way you've used the chart applies across the chart for the month of April, correct?
Yes, sir. April 20th.
Okay, so on People's 228, this is incorrect where you have you have a 300 milligram dose of Demerol. That's not reflected in the medical records, correct?
That is, again, incorrect. But again, this is not all the information.
I'm sorry?
This is not all the information that I used to create this chart.
Okay, where did you get this for April 20th?
Again, I told you before, there's information that was provided to me by defense.
What was that?
It was a written summary of the chart. I don't have it with me.
A 300 milligram dose of Demerol on April 20th?
There is not.
Okay. Is there a 2 or 200 milligram dose of midazolam for April 20th?
There is not.
Okay. Be clear then, these dosages of midazolam are 2 milligram doses, correct?
I don't have that information in front of me. You want to share? Or should I look here?
Aren't you holding the medical records?
Yeah. You want me to look in the medical records? I'm
Yeah,
just asking.
For the month of May, I'm just asking about the way you built your chart. The
Same technique.
Okay, so the reflections on the chart for midazolam are 2 milligram doses for May.
Correct.
Can you tell me what dose was received on June 2nd as reflected in your chart?
I don't think there was a visit on June 2nd.
Okay, so on People's 229,
According to the office chart.
on People's 229, I'm going to cross out this entry. And then there was one, however, on June 3rd, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And how about,
May I interrupt for a moment?
no, Mr. Chernoff will have a chance
Okay.
to ask you questions.
Okay.
Could you tell me what the medical record showed on June 4th?
This office chart does not have a visit on June 4th.
So this entry is incorrect, correct?
Yes.
And again, as with the other months, the midazolam dosages are 2 milligrams, correct?
I only testified about Dr. Arnold Klein's office dermatology record, sir.
Weren't you aware from what was out in the public arena that during the months preceding Michael Jackson's death, Conrad Murray was in fact his personal physician?
I'm going to tell you again, I really don't pay much attention to the public arena with respect to this specific event or trial. I didn't pay attention.
This is going to be a deciding point, how the jury reads this witness and his chart. And that's my report on this morning's courtroom activities in the Conrad Murray trial for the killing of Michael Jackson.